Good morning, students. Welcome to my channel Chemistry Made Easy. Myself, Dr. Rajeshwari HV, working as an assistant professor in JSS College, Gokak. Today I am going to explain the topic potentiometric titrations. This is one of the important topic in electrochemistry which appears in BSc 6M RCU syllabus. What is potentiometric titrations? Potentiometric titrations are defined as the titrations in which the potential developed at an electrode depends on the concentration of active species. It may be reduced and oxidized species, and the potentiometric titrations are based on Nernst equation. If this is the general redox reaction, where the forward reaction is reduction and backward reaction is oxidation. In the forward reaction, the metal ion accepts electron and get reduced to metal, and in the backward reaction, metal loses electron to give metal ion. So, metal ion is an oxidized species and metal is the reduced species. So, we can write the Nernst equation for the redox reaction, that is E is equal to E naught minus 0.0591 divided by N, where N stands for the number of electrons getting transferred into the log of the concentration of reduced species divided by the concentration of oxidized species. If the oxidized species are written in the numerator and reduced species are written in the denominator, so then instead of plus minus sign, we have to write plus sign here. And E naught represents the standard reduction potential. There are three types of potentiometric titrations: acid-base titrations, redox titrations, and precipitation titrations. So I am going to describe the redox titrations. What is a redox titration? So that involves the simultaneous reduction and oxidization reactions. When the titration of reducing agent is carried out using an oxidizing agent, the potential changes due to the change in oxidized and reduced species. And this is the simple definition of redox titrations. Let us take an example of the reaction between ferrous ammonium sulfate and potassium dichromate. We know that ferrous ammonium sulfate is a double salt, and the oxidation state of ferrous ammonium sulfate, Fe in FeS, ferrous ammonium sulfate, is +2, and it oxidizes, loses electron, and the oxidation changes from +2 to +3 state. Ferrous FeS undergoes oxidation and acts like reducing agent. And the oxidation state of chromium in dichromate is +6. In acid medium, it accepts 6 electrons, and the oxidation state of chromium comes to 3 plus state. That is, dichromate is undergoing reduction, it is accepting electron and acts like oxidizing agent. So through this, we should know how to calculate the equivalent mass of the reducing and an oxidizing agent. The simple formula, that is equivalent mass is equal to molecular mass divided by change in oxidation state. We can find out the equivalent mass of any reducing and oxidizing agent. First, let us consider ferrous ammonium sulfate. The molecular mass is 392. The change in oxidation state is 1. Therefore, the molecular mass and equivalent mass of FeS remains the same. Dichromate has the molecular mass 294 divided by 6, that is change in oxidation state is 6, because for one chromium atom the change in oxidation state is 3, that is 6 minus 3 is 3. Since we have two chromium atoms, 3 into 2, the change in oxidation state is 6, and the equivalent mass of dichromate will be 49 gram per mole. This is the overall molecular equation. Dichromate reacts with ferrous sulfate in acid medium to give ferric sulfate and potassium sulfate with chromic sulfate. That is, oxidation state of Fe changes from +2 to +3, whereas oxidation state of dichromate changes from +6 to +3. This is the experimental setup. In the microburette, we have to take exactly 0.1 molar potassium dichromate solution, and in 100 ml beaker, we have to take approximately 0.1 normal ferrous ammonium sulfate solution, that is 10 ml, plus 2 normal H2SO4 10 ml. Dip the platinum electrode, which is the working electrode, acts like cathode, and the calomel electrode acts like anode, and calomel electrode will be the reference electrode. Connect both the electrodes to the potentiometer, where we measure the EMF in terms of volts or millivolts. The potentiometric experiment is conducted in two steps. One is the rough titration and second step is fine titration. In the rough titration, the plot of EMF versus volume of dichromat will give the inverted S-shaped curve, that is potential increases gradually. At equivalent point, there is a sudden jump in the potential and again the potential increases gradually. And the fine titration is plotted delta E divided by delta V versus volume of dichromat solution. Before the addition of dichromat, the oxidation state of the FeS solution is plus 2, that is Fe in plus 2 state. So when you gradually add dichromat to the FeS solution, Fe2 plus is oxidized to Fe3 plus. Now in the solution we have Fe2 plus as well as Fe3 plus. When these two ions comes in contact with platinum metal, it acts like the redox electrode. So at this context, we should know the meaning of redox electrode. When platinum comes in contact with two ions with a different oxidation state, that is Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus, so we call this electrode as a redox electrode. The initial increase in the potential, that is when you add dichromat to FeS, the potential increases gradually. This initial increase in the potential is mainly due to the formation of the redox couple Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus. At equivalent point, there is sudden jump in the potential, and after equivalent point, the potential again increases gradually due to the formation of redox couple, that is chromium in plus 6 state and chromium in plus 3 state. Using the rough titration plot, we cannot find the exact midpoint. So that's why, so we have to plot the differential plot, that is delta E by delta V versus volume of dichromat solution will give the peak. Extrapolate this peak to the x-axis, which gives the equivalent point. Through this we can find out the concentration of the dichromat solution. Let us understand the theory behind potentiometric titrations. The 3 points are very important here: before equivalent point, at equivalent point, and beyond equivalent point. Now at before equivalent point, the potential increases gradually, as you see in the first rough graph, and this is due to the formation of the redox couple Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus, and its potential is about 0.75 volt. So we have written the Nernst equation with respect to the redox couple Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus. At equivalent point, so we have two redox couples Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus as well as chromium in plus 7 and plus 3 state. That means at equivalent point we have 4 types of ions in the solution. That's why there is sudden jump in the potential, and both will contribute to the potential. So that is the contribution made by Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus is 0.75 volts, and dichromat couples will give 1.33 volts. Together the potential increases to 1.04 volts. Therefore at equivalent point there is sudden jump in the potential. Beyond equivalent point, that is after equivalent point, all Fe2 plus present in the solution is converted to Fe3 plus, and the potential developed is mainly because of the dichromat couples, that is chromium Cr2 O7 2 minus and chromium in plus 3 state. And we can write the respective Nernst equation according to this. 6 represents the number of electrons getting transferred. And if the question is asked in the examination, how do you identify the endpoint in potentiometric titrations? So this is the answer. So there is a sudden jump in the potential. So we can, through this we can find out my endpoint lies in this range. The sudden jump in the potential itself is the endpoint in the potentiometric titrations. Now let us understand how to calculate the formal redox potential for Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus. We know that E is equal to E naught plus 0.0591 divided by 1 into log of Fe2 plus concentration divided by Fe3 plus for the redox couple Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus. Now at equivalent point, if concentration of Fe2 plus is exactly equal to concentration of Fe3 plus, and this point itself is known as half equivalent point. We have to evaluate this half equivalent point using the graph. So I'll teach you how to find out that. And we also know that E naught of cell is equal to E cathode minus E anode. This is the standard EMF expression. And the electrode, we know that cathode is the platinum electrode and anode is calomel electrode. Substitute the value here, that is E naught of Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus minus E naught of the calomel electrode is equal to, since the calomel electrode is a reference electrode, its standard reduction potential is plus 0.248 volts. Substitute here and rearrange the expression for the redox potential of Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus. We get E naught cell is equal plus 0.248 volts. So how to find this E naught cell? So this can be determined using the graph. So we have plotted two graphs, the rough titration and fine titration. Using the fine titration, we can find the endpoint of the titration or equivalent point of the titration. Suppose, imagine that our endpoint or equivalent point is 10 ml. The volume of dichromat is 10 ml. So we have to half this volume, that is 10 divided by 2. So that is equal to 5 ml. And you have to move to the next graph, that is rough graph. Now exactly at 5 ml, you have to extrapolate this graph to the y-axis. So this point will give the E naught of cell, okay, and this value should be substituted in the expression E naught of cell. Suppose if this value is 0.34 volts, you have to add 0.34 volts to 0.248. This is how we evaluate the formal redox potential of Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus. And finally, let us understand what are the advantages of potentiometric titrations. The first one is it can be carried out for colored solutions where the indicator is not required. And second one is even the weak acids and weak bases can be titrated. Results will be more accurate. Since we are determining the endpoint through the graph, results will be more accurate. And small quantity of the chemical is required. Even the mixture of acids and bases can be titrated. Now come to the examination corner. These are the possible questions that is asked in the examination in this topic, which is a very important topic once again. The first question is, what are potentiometric titrations? A 2 marks question. You have to give the definition of potentiometric titrations. Then second one, mention the types of potentiometric titrations, 2 marks question. List out the advantages of potentiometric titrations, 2 marks questions. How do you calculate the formal redox potential of Fe2 plus bar Fe3 plus, a 2 marks question. Then finally, describe or explain the potentiometric redox titrations is a 5 marks question. So thank you students.